Cats. How did they get here? Millions of years of evolution? Domestication? Wait, wrong intro. I meant, how did they get here? These are my two cats, Captain and Opie. They are both very cute, and I love them a lot. But these are only my cats right now. To understand this story, we have to go back 10 years. The year is 2015. Me and my family are going to Minnesota to visit some family friends. While we're there, it just so happens that one of them knows somebody who owns a cat cafe. So we pull up, and it's actually really nice. All the cats were friendly, and my sister would start to kindle a love for cats. Fast forward to months later, and we're at home, and we decide to go to a cat shelter in Boston. We found a cat who was perfect, Smokey. Smokey was a great cat. The moment my family got to hang around him, we were hooked. We immediately went over to the local pet store, and we bought cage, food, and kitty litter. It was sort of an impulse purchase, but we knew we wanted him. And we were right, Smokey was worth it. There's a few different scenarios I could go over to discuss alternate realities that could have been created from different choices, but I'll go over two. The day that we got our cat Smokey, the day that he sadly passed away. For when we got him, there could be a few different outcomes. Alternate scenario 1. When we went to the pet store, there was always a chance that our mother could have just said, "No, we're not ready for a pet right now." She could have said this as we had sort of just recovered from one of our old pets, our dog Kiki, passing away. In this reality, I do predict that we would have gotten a cat eventually, but who knows? I was really into fish at the time, so maybe I would have become a fish person who turns their basement into a fish haven, with the blue lights and the squeaky clean tanks. Alternate scenario 2. For the second outcome, when we arrived at the pet store, we could have never noticed Smokey and gotten a different cat. Maybe this cat wouldn't have been so friendly, a demon cat. He'd scratch everyone, constantly be hissing and meowing, pee all over our house, and destroy furniture. We would eventually go on My Cat from Hell with John Galaxy, but even he wouldn't know what to do. We'd be enslaved to this hypothetical demon cat. But eventually, we would give the cat away to some unassuming family, and we'd be ridden of this cat. But we would never adopt another cat again, and we might have become dog people. For my other scenario, I want to talk about how Smokey died. It was a dark night. Me and my sister wanted to go to the YMCA, and our mother obliged, even though as 7 and 8 year olds, respectively. We should have been thinking about how our mom felt after a long day's work, because she was probably very tired. But, alas, we were not going to let go, so we decided to leave. As we hopped into the car, excited to go swimming, our mom turned the car into reverse. Unknowingly to us, Smokey, who I haven't mentioned yet, was an outdoor cat. Must have been resting under the wheel, and was sadly run over after we reversed the car. As we heard the clamor, we stopped the car immediately, and went back to go check on what happened. Smokey did survive the initial car accident, but eventually, after about a week or two, Smokey was just in too much pain, and we had to put him down. Alternate scenario 1. Again, our mom says, "No, I'm very tired, so we're not going to the Y today." Me and my sister would have probably been initially very sad and persisted to go, but our mother would have chided us. But we would eventually have gotten over it quicker than if our cat had passed away. Alternate scenario 2. We would go to the Y, but Smokey is not under the tire. Therefore, he does not get ran over. Of course, I think that eventually, because Smokey was an outdoor cat, he would have probably gotten a premature death. But I can't be so sure, as Smokey was a pretty smart and agile cat. However, if Smokey hadn't passed, and this applies to the other scenario as well, I wouldn't have the cats who I love so much today, as the reason Smokey was up for adoption in the first place was because he was very antisocial and didn't like other animal family. And this leads me to my conclusion. Would I have liked for Smokey to be alive? Yes. But would I have changed the outcome that happened into one of the other alternate scenarios? No. As that's just fate, and I wouldn't want to mess with it in any way. Along with this, I would have never been able to have the cats that I have today. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the third alternate scenario to Smokey dying. Alternate scenario 3. When Smokey is first hit, filled with guilt, my mom, my sister, and I go to Maine to get better veterinarian service. Sadly, Smokey still passes away. We meet a kind old man who tells us, "Don't go up into that haunted burial ground, yo." But struck with grief, I persisted, and I went to the burial ground and buried Smokey. And what came back wasn't Smokey. Wait, what was the goal of this?